this is where my intro plays. Alright, so hello people of the internet, Sarcasticnellie here, and today I'm back with Beth. Oh, we're going to be talking about serial killers. Don't know how many we're going to list, but hey, let's get to number 1. I've chose John Wayne Gacy. Spooky. Pretty much what happened was he was found guilty of killing 33 boys and young men. He buried most of them under his home. Growing up, he had an abusive childhood, so maybe that's why he became like this.
That's true.
Pretty much what he would do is dress up as a clown and lead boys and such to him so then he could rape them and kill them. He even performed at children's parties. So that's pretty much where he probably got half of his victims.
Yeah, because they trusted him. Like, oh, he's at my party, so yeah, I'm
honk,
going
honk.
to honk, honk.
Look at this flower.
So I can go to the woods with him.
He was pretty much executed. So
He's dead. Okay, so this isn't really a serial killer. I mean, they know who the killer is, so it's not unsolved. But I'll tell y'all who her killer is. But, okay, so I don't know how to pronounce her last name because this is a Mexican singer, and her name is, and I'm sure all y'all know, Selena Quintanilla. Do you know her?
sorry, she's white.
Sorry, I'm white. So, she was 23 years old when she was murdered. She was one of the most famous Mexican singers, okay? And, she was the president of her fan club and manager of her boutiques. She was shot in her hotel room by her manager. So, her name was Yolanda. Yolanda locked herself in her pickup truck from police and threatened to shoot herself. Okay, so she was found guilty of Selena's murder in a trial in Houston and is serving her sentence at the Mountain View unit in Gatesville, Texas. She will be eligible for parole in March of 2025. That is, of course, as most people think will happen if she doesn't get killed in prison. Fun fact about Yolanda, however you say her name. She is kept in a separate cell because everyone hates her so much. Because, I mean, Selena was a pretty big deal. Like,
even in prison, man.
Yeah.
Alright, next one I have is Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm going to play a few clips of him, and I'm going to show you how normal he seemed to be. But he was gay, pretty much. He had sexual desires to be with boys. He pretty much took lives of 17 males. Between
Jeffrey Dahmer, okay.
Between 1979 and 1991. He pretty much sought out men, mostly African Americans though, at gay bars, malls, and bus stops. He pretty much led them to his home and promises of money or sex and gave them alcohol laced with drugs before strangling them to death. And he would then engage in sex acts with the corpse. He would often keep skulls or genitalias as souvenirs. And pretty much I watched a whole documentary on this. So this pretty much happened when he was pretty much in high school. He seemed really average. And pretty much a lot of people loved him because of his personality and how funny he was. Hey Bethany, your turn!
Okay, so this is about Ted Bundy.
Oh yes,
Yes. But experts believe the final tally may be closer to 100 or more. The exact number of women Bundy killed will never be known. In February 1980, he married Carol Boone, a mother of 2 whom he dated before his initial arrest. So this is 9 years before he was executed. So he's killed women before this, and she doesn't even know about it. When Boone gave birth to a daughter in 1982, she named Ted Bundy as the father. Boone eventually realized Bundy was guilty of crimes and stopped visiting him during the last 2 years of his imprisonment. So when Ted Bundy's mom was 22 years old and had him, her parents were humiliated because they're religious and she was unmarried. So I guess that was kind of hard because she delivered the child at a home for unwed mothers in Vermont and later brought her son to her parents in Philadelphia. Bundy was raised as the adopted son of his grandparents and was told that his mother was his sister. A few years later, in 1951, she married Johnny Bundy and the couple had several children. Bundy showed unusual interest in the macabre at an early age. He became fascinated by knives. Bundy was a shy but bright child who did well in school but not with his peers. So, I mean, he was a smart kid, but he didn't get along with people. As a teenager, the darker side of his character started to emerge. He liked to peer in other people's windows and thought nothing of stealing things he wanted from other people. While a student at the University of Washington, Bundy fell in love with a wealthy, pretty young woman from California. She had money, class, influence. He was devastated by their breakup. Many of his later victims resembled her. So technically, his killing started because he was heartbroken over this girl. That is why many of the girls resembled his ex-girlfriend.
That was his MO.
Yep. They were attractive students with long, dark hair. His killings also followed a gruesome pattern. He often raped the victims before beating them to death. By the mid-70s, Bundy had transformed himself, becoming more outwardly confident and active in social and political matters. Bundy even got a letter of recommendation from the Republican governor of Washington after working on his campaign. So, I mean, he started to get better, I guess. His murderous rampage, however, started 4 years later in 1974. Around this time, many women in the Seattle area and in nearby Oregon went missing. Stories circulated about some of the victims last being seen in the company of a young, dark-haired man named as Ted. He often lured his victims into his car by pretending to be injured and asking for help. Their kindness proved to be a fatal mistake. In 1974, Bundy moved to Utah to attend law school, and women began disappearing there as well. The following year, he was pulled over by police. A search of his vehicle uncovered a cake of burglary tools, a crowbar, face mask, rope, and handcuffs. He was arrested for the possession of these tools, and police began to link him to more sinister crimes. In 1975, he was arrested in the kidnapping of Carol DeRanch, one of the few women that escaped his clutch. He was convicted and received 1 to a 15-year jail sentence. 2 years later, Bundy was indicted on murder charges for the death of young Colorado women. He decided to act as his own lawyer, so he didn't hire a lawyer to help him in his case. Bundy jumped out a window and made his escape from court.
He yeeted himself out the window. Bro, he had that going.
He was like,
I don't need nobody.
He was, however, captured 8 days later. In 1977, he escaped again by climbing out of a hole he made in the ceiling of his cell, having dropped more than 30 pounds to fit through the small opening. Authorities did not discover that Bundy was missing for 15 hours, giving the serial killer a big head start on police. He eventually made his way to Tallahassee, Florida. So this is from Utah to Tallahassee, Florida. I give him props. He was very smart. Not that I think he was right. There, on the night of January 14, 1978, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. He attacked 4 of the young female residents, killing 2 of them. On February 9th, Bundy kidnapped and murdered a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old. What? Named Kimberly Leach. These crimes marked the end of his murderous rampage, as he was soon pulled over by police that February. He was linked to the bodies because his signature thing was to bite them. So, I mean, don't bite your victims, guys, because you're going to be linked back to them. Yeah, he was convicted of the crimes and given the death penalty twice. He received another death sentence following in the murder of Kimberly Leach. His intelligence and charm did, however, give him a boost. He tried to take his case as high as the U.S. Supreme Court, but he was turned down. He also offered information on some of the unsolved murders to avoid Florida's electric chair, but he could not delay justice forever. He was executed on January 24th, 1989. He was cremated in Gainesville and no public ceremony was held. Before he was executed, he requested his ashes to be scattered in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State, where he murdered at least 4 of the victims. So, if you want to go visit Ted Bundy, make your way up to the mountains.
Next one we have is Charles Manson.
Boy!
Charles Manson was an American cult leader. A cult leader.
And if you don't know what an occult is, that is the devil.
The upside down crosses.
Woo.
I'll show you another picture of him right here. With his tongue out like the Manson family cult. That's what it was called. Oh wow, he just died last year.
He's not even been dead that long, boys and girls.
November 19th, 2017, he died of natural causes. He had around 100 followers of Charles Manson who shared his passion for unconventional lifestyle and habitual use of drugs such as LSD and magic mushrooms. Well there, after Manson was released from prison for petty crimes in 1967, the Manson family moved to San Francisco. And later to Desert Ranch in San Fernando Valley. Manson's followers also included a hardcore unit of impressible young girls. They began to believe without question. Manson claims that he was Jesus. The Manson family, including Charles Manson and his young, loyal disciples, is thought to have carried out some 35 killings. The first of Manson's victims were murdered on August 9th, 1969 at the home Rome Poliski, I don't know, had rented, located in an area just north of Beverly Hills. While Manson himself took no part in the actual killings, he directed 4. So pretty much who Charles Manson was, he had a whole cult that would do his killings for him. But you know, in the end, he died of natural causes in California.
So technically he was never, like, convicted?
Oh, he was.
Oh, he was?
He was in prison. He was pretty much sentenced to life, and then he finally died of natural causes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment what I should do next, and please follow me on my social medias. Mine will be in the description, and hers will be in the description. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us.